Hey everyone, so I just did a video, talking about a little bit of the trouble that I'm having with my video blogging and my written blogs and sort of trying to, get all my concepts into words here. I'm also going to do a little video talking about the promise of politics and the sections that I've been reading this week. So right now I'm reading sections 114 through 150. And the beginning of that section is, the beginning of that reading is a section called The Meaning of Politics. And that's on page 114. One of the most interesting things that Hannah Arendt jumps into right off the bat is the idea of a meaning versus a justification of politics. And I feel like that's a really interesting concept for me because that sort of relates back to the idea of, individuality that she was talking about last week. Family versus politics. Where does the individual fit inside that? And so the idea, how do we? Let me read you the quote here. Equally as old as the question about the meaning of politics are the answers that offer justification for politics, and almost all the definitions in our tradition are essentially justifications. So it's really interesting to think how we, as a society, as a people, sort of justify politics for ourselves. Do we really need politics? Is politics something we need to continue on, as people, as a society? But then it's also, there's a meaning for politics. There's a meaning for how we can interact with each other and sort of get things done in a way, which was very interesting for me. Let me read you another bit here. Politics, so we are told, is an absolute necessity of human life, not only for the life of society, but for the individual as well. And that's a really interesting piece because, again, it's the meaning and justification of politics. How do we find that meaning in ourselves? Like I talked about, last week. How do I say that, the meaning of these GOP races, which I'm following, but I'm not totally, maybe supportive of? How do I find a meaning in that? How do I find something important that I can say, this is a good thing to happen? And I think there are a lot of really interesting things that can be based off this. So let me read you another bit. So this is on page 128. A great many human activities, however, can proceed only at some remove from the political sphere, and this remove is indeed an essential condition for certain kinds of human productivity. I thought this quote was really interesting because at first Hannah Arendt is talking about a meaning and a justification for politics. And previously, she's also talking about the role of the individual in politics and the family. And then, as we try to relate the meaning of politics to what the outcome of politics is, we say that the meaning of politics is the good that it does in the world. But then we can also talk about the productivity of the humankind. Is politics a way for humans to become productive? Is it a way to produce something meaningful for our society? However, as she states here, there are many things that need to be done away from the political sphere for them to be meaningful and productive. And so I feel like this draws a really interesting contrast between the meaning, the justification of politics, the family, the individual, the political sphere, but also the productivity of politics, how its meaning is interrelated with the productivity, and how the productivity is also related to the distance that one is away from politics. And I feel, there are many very interesting contrasts that she draws, and these are only a few that we've captured, but I feel like those are some of the main points that I've picked up so far. Leave me some comments and questions. Let me know what you guys think about this. And we'll see you next week. Alright, thank you.